Hi, my name's Ella and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I make study-related videos, including how-tos, as well as videos about my life as a student. Today I'm going over one of my old literature reviews that I submitted as a second-year psychology student back when I was studying psychology. It received a high distinction and it was a 1,000-word assignment plus or minus 10%, so I've written approximately 1,100 words, with 100 words for my introduction, 200 words for my conclusion, and 800 words for the body. And I've used about 23 references in total. Please note that although it did receive a high distinction, it is far from perfect, and there are a few things that I cringe at when I read it back, particularly parts of my writing style and a few word choices that I've used. However, overall it's a good example of a literature review for an undergraduate student. One thing I've been asked quite a bit is how to write critically and how to weave that into an assignment such that everything flows. So when I'm searching the literature in preparation for writing, I'm searching for overarching themes as well as agreements and disagreements between studies. You can find out more on exactly how I do this in one of my other videos titled How to Write a Literature Review. You'll notice that I've separated my paragraphs into genetic and neurochemical factors and then psychosocial factors. So these subtopics of the etiology of schizophrenia provide the bones or the foundation of my writing, and then I further break these up into different theories that fall within these subtopics, such as the dopamine hypothesis, brain ventricle enlargement, and particular genes, and nerve terminal functioning, etc. For most of these theories, there are a number of articles about each one with slightly different findings and methodology, so I've tried to link them together and talk about what each one brings to the table. For example, here I've talked about increased incident rates in schizophrenia in the migrant population and that other similar studies support these findings. I've also done a similar thing where I write about increased rates of schizophrenia in people born at times of significant trauma, and that these results echo other studies of babies born during the Dutch famine. So I've linked different types of studies together because they're talking about the same thing. In terms of writing critically, I've been fairly basic with my limitations. I've talked about the psychosocial studies not being able to explain the underlying method of possible causation of schizophrenia, and that much of the studies only provide correlational data, which really doesn't give us a whole lot more insight other than they're related in some way. One of the other limitations was that because there is such a large number of genes implicated, we don't know exactly what each of their roles are in the formulation of schizophrenia. We just know that they play some role. And there's a few more examples in here, but I'll leave that for you to pause and look at if you're interested. Finally, note that I haven't argued for anything in the introduction. All I've stated was that I would be analysing the literature for evidence for the possible etiology of schizophrenia and whether or not they included psychosocial factors. So keep in mind that with a literature review, you're not arguing for anything like you might be in an essay. Instead, you're analysing the literature and then coming to a conclusion solely based on that literature. I've used the conclusion as a space to show that the literature does indeed show that psychosocial factors are important, and I've re-highlighted the major gaps in the conclusion in a way that future researchers could look at it and plan a study that fills those gaps. So hopefully you found that useful, and if there's something you would like me to cover, let me know in the comments section. I'd be happy to do that. As always, please remember to like this video and subscribe if you found it useful, as it helps me build this channel and provide more content for you.